Yes, here we go. Another Hazmat, a 13-year-old Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey. Life is good. Let's get into this bad boy. Welcome back to Old Fashioned Ways Plus Plus. Today is a very special day. I have a limited Kentucky Bourbon Hazmat to review and share. I acquired this bottle from my buddy Shane over at Storytime Distillery, even though this is not one of their releases. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour some of this out and let this start breathing. Ooh, it already smells good. Well, let me back it up a little bit. I did my Colorado whiskey haul the other day, and this was one of the most requested bottles for me to review. Some even say they would selfishly want me to review this because they've never had Hazmat before. So, if you have not seen that video, I'll leave a link to it right here. When I was in Colorado for the holidays, Shane reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in a 13-year-old Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey that is 143.68 proof. Now, that's very specific. Then he told me it was only $160, so I was like,
was a bear shit in the woods?
Where else can you get a 13-year-old Hazmat Kentucky bourbon for that price? I don't know. Well, when I got back home, this beautiful bottle was waiting here for me. Then very soon after that, I did my first live stream. What I thought would be like an hour event turned out to a 4-hour great time. So during that, we started popping open some bottles, and this happened to be one of those bad boys we popped open that night. So let's get into the bottle details. The bottle is Old J.H.&M Whiskey Company, Special Reserve. This distiller is distilled in Kentucky, mash bill, Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey, aged 13 years, finished in port barrels. The year is 2023, and this barrel number 898. The proof is 143.68, making it 71.84% ABV. MSRP on this bad boy, $160. As usual, I'll be using my standard review scoring method of 1 through 10 on aroma, flavors, complexity, mouthfeel, finish, and of course, would I buy again? And because I'm doing a review, I will also be sharing.
This is the way.
So stay tuned to find out how you can win a sample of this Hazmat. Let's get into the fun part. I don't know if you guys can see, but this is nice and dark. I mean, look at this bottle. It's almost where you can't see through it. Even in bright light, it is very dark.
So dark.
It definitely likes to cling to the glass very slowly, even starting to show legs now, but it takes a while for those legs to start. So nice and viscous on the glass. Time to go in for that nose. So the aroma. Now you would think with the Hazmat, it'd burn initially, right? This one doesn't. Lots of nose on this. You can smell like that sweetness. There's a cherry, there's oak, there's vanilla. And you know, that port always gives it kind of a sweetness to it. So you can smell that on the nose as well. That does smell good. On the nose, I'm gonna give it a 7. Next is flavors, the initial taste, the fun part. Wow, with that first taste, you definitely know it's Hazmat. I hadn't had anything warm up in a while, so it hit my mouth full of flavor, but pretty hot as well for that first taste. So it does hit you, made my eyes even water a little bit.
Eyes just got a little watery. Watery?
But man, there's still a lot of flavor on it. So it hits the tongue, covers you, lots of heat from the initial taste. Still some flavors in there, hard to get them. A lot of darkness, so like a dark cherry and oak in there. The initial heat kind of caught me off guard because I've had this before and it hadn't done that to me. But the other few times I had had a few drinks before, so it wasn't my first pour. For the initial taste, I'm gonna give that a 5. Let's go into complexity. How does this evolve on the tongue? A lot of times the second sip gives you a lot more information and a lot more flavors that you can taste. Very good. Very, very good. Didn't hit me as hard as that first time. My mouth acclimated enough. It is dark cherry, hint of chocolate, oaky ending. And that oaky ending always gives me a little bit of bitterness, but it's not overly bittery. It evolves from the front to the back. So I get taste from the front of my tongue to the back of my tongue. And even with that first one, I started noticing that Kentucky hug. For complexity, I'm gonna give that a 7. Mouthfeel. Thickness and viscosity. I still have it on my tongue, so this is gonna be fun. This is gonna definitely be some.
Have some fun. Real fun.
Wow, that time, a lot of spice on the tip of my tongue. There's a lot of spiciness there. Covers the whole thing, covers the tongue from front to back. A little bit of, like I'm starting to salivate a little bit on my cheeks, so it even covers a little bit of my cheeks, but does it stick? It's still there. The whole front feels like it's still covered in some oil. The mid is a little bit there, and then the back I don't feel that oil there, but the taste is there, the thickness is there, it's still hanging around there. So for mouthfeel, I'm gonna have to give that a 7. The finish. Wow, I want to kind of jump back to flavors on that. Every time I taste it, it tastes different. You still have that dark cherry, you still have that, but now it tastes like not so much of a sweet chocolate, but like a dark chocolate.
Oh, I'm not dark chocolate.
Very good, just sticks there. And the finish just keeps on going and going. I like this finish. I'm gonna give the finish a 7.5. Now the big question, would I buy again? Well, if you watch my live stream, I gave away one of these bad boys. Nathan from Everyday Drinker, he actually won it. So I did buy another one already. Wasn't for me, unfortunately, but I did. And I have asked Shane to get me another one of these. Says it's such a good pour. I definitely want to back up on my shelf. And for that price, why not? Great price and a great drink, so definitely. So would I buy it again? 9 out of 10. Adding that all up, I got 42.5 out of 60. I think that's a great score for something like this. Great pricing. Hits a little bit hard in the first one, which I hadn't noticed the first few times, but great overall pour. Just for Hazmat, lots of flavor. After the first burn, your mouth acclimates. You just keep tasting the flavors. I still have the flavor in my mouth right now from the previous drink, and I haven't had one in a second here. So yes, definitely a good one. I recommend it. Now, let's talk about how you can win a sample. First, you need to click on that like button. Just reach over and go and click on that like button for me, please. Thank you. Next, I want you to comment with Shane is the man. He is a good guy for sure. And also, if you don't mind, please share my video. YouTube seems to love that. So just share it with somebody, share it with a friend, share it with yourself. I don't know, just share it, please. I will be choosing the random winners 1 week from today. So I will do that pretty quickly here. Now, for the extra good news, Shane did tell me there are a few bottles available. Now, this is not a story time release, but it's a friend of his. So if you're interested in one of these limited releases, send me an email, oldfashionedways22@gmail.com. And if you send me your information, I will forward it on to Shane. It is very limited, so whoever sends it first is who, if it's still available, I'll send it off to Shane and he'll get that taken care of. Also, Shane and I will be doing a fun blind very soon. I'm really looking forward to that. We're trying to figure out our schedules to get that to work for both of us, but that's gonna be happening very soon as well. Thank you guys again for joining me in another journey down my Hazmat rabbit hole. Till our next journey, my friends. Cheers.